How goes the family? Welcome back to Patterson L Properties. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying yourselves. Hopefully you like me over the election and ready to move forward with your life and all that good stuff. So now today's subject matter is definitely, it kind of talks about today's times that we're living in because, it's interesting that I say 15 years ago, there was a big shift of people wanting to move it back into the major cities. And that's when you had gentrification going on, whether if it was in New York City, Washington, D.C. I'll say around 2005, 2006, 7 time frame. Los Angeles, all these places, Seattle. And, you had this big shift of people wanting to, especially your upper middle class people, your well-to-do rich people, wanted to move back into the major cities. And then the quote unquote poor people whatnot moving out into the suburbs and the smaller towns. But now the shift is changing to where nobody really wants to live in a major city anymore because of COVID-19. And I'm about to go into the reasons why. It is, it's just interesting how people within the real estate market are seeing the shift of, especially real estate agents are seeing the shift of, these people that loved living in their smaller places in the city and enjoying the convenience of city life. However, now with it's very let's just put it this way, it's very unhealthy to live in a crowded environment in the COVID-19 economy. I'll just put it like that. And then obviously I'm going to go over various reasons why people want more single family homes nowadays. It's getting back to single family homes aren't as empty as they used to be. Because we know with the COVID-19 economy that we've been living in nowadays, that everything, and I mean everything, has basically been turned upside down. Now, when it comes to the real estate market, it's faced a lot of uncertainty and a pause under the previous shutdown orders. And, hopefully we don't have another one, but you never know, it might just happen. However, low interest rates and the desire for more space have definitely turned this year into a boom time for a lot of real estate agents. According to this article that I read the other day, Anthony Amachia, who is a real estate agent and owner of La Machia Realty in Boston, in the Boston suburbs area, Boston, Massachusetts, he stated anything right now outside of Boston is going like wildfire hotcakes, especially the single family homes. Because the crazy thing is that I found out that within the state of Massachusetts, even with them being known to have the highest prices when it comes to rent, highest prices when it comes to real estate, that they've seen an even bigger spike that they've ever had within the last 10 years. Homes are going like wildfires out there in 2020. And in like most major metropolitan areas, the bidding wars have just, and I've talked about this previously, have allowed the prices in Massachusetts to go even higher than expected. One real estate, so a lot of, like I said, real estate agents are killing it right now. One real estate agent stated that I've never seen bidding wars, and I mean, randomly you see them here and there, but never seen them like this. That they were, because especially you had that period between, I say, March and May where nothing was moving. So when everything started to open back up a little bit, people were just like, so it's been very, very interesting, yet crazy all at the same time. The agent stated that people, the bidding wars are just literally everywhere for every single no matter where the market is. It could be a small market or a big market. It's everywhere. Because before, it's like I said, there was just a standstill, and now it's like, most of the young people actually, wanted to live in the big cities and enjoy all the convenience of living within the city, walking to work, taking a bus to work, walking to the store. If there's a major event happening in the downtown area, they're minutes away instead of an hour away, so, and that makes you want to get up and go out. A lot of times people don't want to go to the city, life before COVID-19, they don't want to go to the city because they don't want to sit in the traffic, they don't want to pay for the parking. It's an inconvenience and whatnot. That's why they started creating these town centers in suburbs, because they noticed how people were having this, a suburbs is dead mentality, because people are like, hey, just go to work, come home, be bored out of my freaking mind. But now the shift is happening because everything being online nowadays, and we're still essentially living in the stay-at-home economy. Things are reversing right back. It's interesting. The biggest thing that takes place is because a lot of jobs that weren't remote have become remote, especially within the private sector, allowing people to move out of the city. And of course, with the low interest rates that are going on for home loans, making people even reconsider where they want to live and how they want to live their lives. Totally understand. People, you see a shift, people leaving California, leaving New York, to move to Texas, to move to Colorado, to move to Florida, because they want cheaper living and they want good weather. And they want to be able, and the fact that if they have a remote access job, then hey, they just get up and work on their computer and whatnot every day. All right. One of the biggest demands for homes is single family homes. Like I said earlier, especially during the summertime, that was a big, big thing because, you saw people. One of the things is you saw more people, they had no choice. They were spending a lot more time at home. So they're like, hey, I need more space. That's what it really boiled down to. You saw a real big amount of home selling during the summertime. However, now we're in November, AKA the holiday season, as I like to call it. And before COVID-19, Thanksgiving and Christmas time, things usually slowed down within the real estate market. And I would imagine them probably going to slow down even more so because most people don't want to move during Thanksgiving and Christmas unless it's like an emergency and whatnot, especially if you have kids and whatnot. It's like, hey, you don't want to take them out of school, take them away from their friends and other family members possibly. A few statements actually caught my attention dramatically when I was reading this article. The statements have stated that the demand might be a little less crazy now than during the summertime, but Amasia said it still remains significant as more people are leaving Boston for more space. Boston feeds the rest of the state of Massachusetts. I can believe that, and the people, because when you think of Massachusetts, you think of Boston. You really don't think of anywhere else. You think of maybe Cape Cod, but you don't think of anywhere else but Boston. And the people in the city are selling their condos within Boston and moving to the suburbs. They have even, Masia, the real estate agent, said that people even are moving to their vacation homes. They're moving to their second homes so that their children could go to school. And that makes sense because a lot of people, especially in a place like that where there's a lot of money, people will have like a smaller place in the city of Boston, but their vacation home was way bigger, especially if it was on a beach, or their secondary home was way bigger. It could be in a smaller town or in another state or maybe even another country. You just never know. But the bigger push obviously is for more square footage. And, the real estate agent, Lamasia, said, I know people who have either moved or they're sending, they're spending enough time with their second home that they're sending their kids to school where the second home is. A couple of other reasons why people want to reside in a single family home nowadays was discussed in detail within the article. The article stated that consumers working from home or having their kids homeschool, obviously, they want more square footage because of spending more time in the house. You need more room to stretch and, have some privacy. That's a big key, obviously. And then home now is more than just a home now. And that's what people are not. Some people understand and some people don't understand, but a home is more than just a home now. It's not just a place you go for a lot of people after you had a rough day at work or you had a day at school or whatever. It's become a daycare, it's become an office, it's become a gym, it's become a school. The article stated that when people want to get a pool installed, and this was talking about within the Dallas, Texas area, the permits are going through the roof, because obviously you got to go through the city to get a permit, and the process is taking that much longer because actually basically the applications for permits have kind of gone up to 400%. With and this is date in regards to a city in Dallas called Frisco. All right, and all this is definitely relevant because no matter if you live within the city of Dallas, New York City, Washington D.C. areas, if you're schooling kids and you're remote working and you're working out at home, turn your home into a gym and whatnot, which a lot of people have done. You want to be able to have more space, and then obviously if you want to be able to go to the pool, especially if you live in a hot state in the summertime and the public pools aren't open, and a lot of people probably aren't comfortable with even sending their kids or themselves to a public pool. And having your own pool is kind of relevant. And there was a time when having a pool in your backyard became irrelevant. Now that's totally changing nowadays, because people, the home used to be this place you stayed away from, you only came to when you wanted to relax and get away from society. Now home in itself has just become the place to ultimately be all the time in the stay-at-home COVID-19 economy. It's kind of interesting, but I digress. So with that being said, the article went into a lot of detail within the Denver, Colorado area. It stated that in Denver, this one real estate agent, Juan Sanchez, said that he thought the market would be slowing down at the beginning of the pandemic. Century 21 Fairfax president said that that's far from what's happened. Not only has the Fairfax been very busy as a real estate agency, but Sanchez said that the type of buyer coming in has changed their perspective. Sanchez said that the biggest population of buyers he's seeing right now are singles who work in the tech industry. Big makes sense because Denver's a big tech town, and noted that many buyers are seeking out basements in their potential home. They've been working this whole time and they've been at home and they are looking at bigger properties or bigger homes with maybe a little bit more land, Sanchez says. So they are moving away from the downtown area of Denver, and the suburbs are really getting busier. That's something to be said. With all this been happening all over the United States of America, I can only imagine how local city officials feel about losing that tax revenue. You're probably going to see way more traffic um, going in. Well, probably not, because if a lot of these people have remote jobs, then there's just no reason. Because that's a lot of times, that's always one of a bigger factor why people will live into the city. They don't want to sit in traffic, hours of traffic. I can just imagine. I mean, that's why the pollution in LA and in California has gotten so much better, because you have less people on the road because there's nowhere for them to really go except within their 20 to 30-minute radius of where they reside at. So, I look at it as a good thing for a lot of people having the opportunity to work from home because they don't have to sit in traffic. They don't have to, not look forward to their next day and whatnot. But for the real estate market within major cities, obviously it's going to affect them, because there was a time where it was affecting, especially with a lot of millennials, it was affecting the suburbs because most millennials wanted to be either in the city or right out of the city, outside the city. Now that demographic is changing or whatnot. So we'll see what happens with the next future generations. But it's going to affect the real estate market no matter how you look at it at the end of the day. So do the great three free things: like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully you guys have a great day. And as always, family, make money moves. Take care.